The second version of MMod is finally here after a year of delays due to world events. The mod aims to maintain the game's classic style while simultaneously improving the visuals and making some notable adjustments to the gameplay itself. I want to start off by listing the brand new features this introduces. All bullets are projectiles. If you're having mixed feelings about seeing that in Half-Life, you have the option to toggle it off. For my playthrough, I kept it on. All things that can be gibbed are much more detailed now. The crowbar was given a stronger secondary attack. Its main purpose is to ease the encounters with headcrabs. I found myself using it almost exclusively against enemies. There's also a third attack which charges up the crowbar for an even stronger swing, similarly to the wrench from opposing force. All these attack options almost make me want to play through the game with just the crowbar. The pistol now has an optional silencer which I found immensely satisfying to use. Rarely do you get the opportunities to properly utilize it as a stealth function. But the classic silencer sound is simply too perfect and I don't care if there's any sort of penalty to the suppressor. Another change made to the pistol is the rate of fire. You can shoot the pistol pretty much as fast as you can tap the fire button, which made the pistol all the more fun to use for me. The secondary attack instead being swapped out for an accurate fast fire option. Truth be told, I never used it. The SMG also comes with a suppressor option. The grenade launcher attachment was given a reload animation after firing, something you may have to get used to. Well, I had to get used to it anyway. The revolver has two firing modes. The combat mode allows for a higher rate of fire, while the sniper mode allows for a very accurate zoomed in shot. When zooming in with the crossbow, Gordon finally starts using the scope, although there is something a little off with the crossbow's projectile. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it really messed me up when dealing with alien controllers. The Hive Hand features a third attack option which fires a projectile akin to a grenade launcher. The projectile itself deals some damage, but upon detonation releases all 8 hornets which home in on targets. This does require a fully regenerated Hive Hand to perform. Tau Cannon now plays a sound when the alt attack is fully charged, and has a visual warning for when it's on the verge of an overcharge. Gluon Gun now has a short delay before it starts firing. The original secondary fire was restored for MMod. Pressing right mouse will swap between two modes. In wide mode, it'll behave as it always has, draining a lot of ammo but dishing out a ton of damage. In narrow mode, it'll use up considerably less ammo but also deal less damage as a result. The grenade has a secondary short-range throw, which should honestly come standard with every modern Half-Life mod. Finally, one new weapon was introduced. It uses opposing forces displacer cannon model. Instead of teleporting the target, it'll create a large explosion. Pretty much acts as a fancier BFG, only requiring 10 ammo per shot. It doesn't feature any sort of secondary attack. Not at the moment anyway. My only issue is with how late this weapon is introduced and that I don't get a proper environment to utilize it. Some of these fire methods I had no idea existed until reading up on it later. There should definitely be a better indicator that they exist. The mod tells people about the stealth and sniper options, but not about the Hive Hand's third attack, for example. Something really cool that this mod does is gradually make changes to the chapters. As of this video, there are 4 modified chapters available: Unforeseen Consequences, Residue Processing, Questionable Ethics, and Lambda Core. For the most part, these are more difficult versions of the original chapters, with the occasional unexpected twist. As someone who has started a Half-Life run countless of times and actually beaten it at least 5 times, this was a very welcome addition. Aside from some of the changes made to residue processing, I am a bit biased as I never liked that stupid chapter. From the sounds of it, more of these modified chapters may be introduced over time. I'm curious to see if they would be willing to make Zen significantly better. If MMod doesn't receive any further major updates, I will absolutely understand. Just in case though, if all the chapters are ever reworked, there should be an option to play through the originals in my opinion, as there are some people out there who think Half-Life is as difficult as is. Half-Life's uplink demo is thrown in as a bonus. It can only be selected via the new game option though. As for complaints, I don't have that many. The ones I do have are pretty nitpicky, which says a lot about the mod's quality. I'll start with the biggest one. For some reason, when you're crouched, you're unable to look all the way down or all the way up. This really bothered me, because I had no idea how many times I'd actually crouch and aim downward until I played this mod. As it turns out, if you want to retain the ability to look all the way down, you simply have to disable first-person legs. All security guards don't feature the exact same appearance anymore. This is a good change. But some of the variations are... well... I wonder if it's the modder putting their own face in the game as a little Easter egg. There are these detailed textures enabled by default, which I didn't like. But once again, this is something you can toggle off. It won't work in the Videos tab for some reason, but it will work in the MMod tab. While MMod fixes a lot of bugs, the team should really look into getting rid of collision on recently killed entities, and also allow us to reload and use a health or HEV station at the same time. These two small fixes would go a very long way. I mean, that's about it. The things that bother me can be turned off. There's a view bop for every time you jump, but it can be simply switched off. I already complained about the crossbow's projectile and residue processing. The only thing I'll say is that there should be a toggle for texture filtering. I don't mind unfiltered textures, just having more options is always better. Overall, MMod introduces neat features and some solid improvements to the classic. Yeah, this is definitely a super mod. If you didn't enjoy Black Mesa, I highly recommend checking this out. From now on, whenever I'll want to replay Half-Life, I will more than likely do it with MMod. Now, to properly break in the new weapon.